All right, we don't need these, Rebecca, do we? Oh, good evening and welcome to the 2020 Virtual Board Installation. My name is Samantha Hauser with Greystart Real Estate Partners and your 2020 Installation Chair. Thank you so much for all participating in our event today. So, of course, we always want to start off every event by recognizing our amazing sponsors. This event would not be possible without the support of them. Our presenting sponsor is Signal 88 Security. Woo! How convenient, huh? Our Ruby sponsor is C&H Asphalt. Our Sapphire sponsor is Apartments.com. And our wine sponsor is Blue Sky Restoration Contractors. Thank you so much. Yes. Please join me in thanking these companies and their contributions to this event for making everything possible today. And then, of course, we have our power players. As we do at all AASC events, we like to take a moment to recognize our 2019 to 2020 power player members. These suppliers invest large sums of money in support of our mission, and we appreciate their continued support. Some of these companies are new to the program, so please help me welcome them all. Our red power players are Arlen Inc., Blue Sky Restoration, Arbor Contract Carpet, C&H Asphalt, and Apartments.com. Our blue power players are Northwest Roofing, Signal 88 Security, All American Mechanical, and A Better Contractor. Our green power players are Alternative Resurfacing, Xfinity Communities, D&P Construction and Restoration, and CSC Service Works. And last but not least, our yellow power players are Rampart Supply, ASR Companies, and Maintenance Supply Headquarters. Let's give all of our power players a large round of applause. Woo! And then I am pleased to introduce my amazing co-part here, Rebecca Resendez, with our presenting sponsor, Signal 88.
Thank you, Samantha. Of course. Before I begin, I'm going to need a little liquid courage.
Absolutely. Let me help you out here.
Don't spill in the popcorn.
Oh, yeah, I know. But it just add a little like zest to it. It'll be fun.
Thank you.
Of course.
Okay. Apartment Association of Southern Colorado has had such a great year, and a large part of that is due to our president. It gives me great pleasure to present your 2019-2020 AASC President, Mr. Dana Lowry. On behalf of the Executive Committee, Board of Directors, staff, and entire membership, I would like to thank you for your distinguished leadership as the 2019-2020 President. You have done so much for the association this year and would like to thank you for your continued leadership and guidance. Please join me in giving Dana Lowry a round of applause.
And I guess that's what virtual applause sounds like.
Yes, it's great.
Yeah, and thank you for that kind introduction, Rebecca.
You're welcome.
And gee, after 2.5 years as your president, you might think I'm looking forward to moving on. But, you know, the responsibilities and the time commitment can be considerable. And actually, I have a full-time job running Grand West Properties. But it saddens me to leave this position. We got a lot accomplished. Our finances have never been in better shape. We've added staff. We've increased education offerings. We've moved to new and better offices. We've added new events. We've defeated harmful legislation. We've developed a new strategic plan. And we're now developing a new and improved website. And within all this, the AASC energy carries on. And I know that because I hear so often the people and the events in our association are the best. But more than leaving behind a sense of accomplishment, I'm also leaving behind the joy and excitement and connection with all of you that became a part of my time as president. But I want to back up just for a moment to when I was asked to consider being on exec, which meant moving up to becoming president. I had actually done that before, 10 years prior, and I wasn't sure if I'd be up to doing it again. I didn't know if I had the time and the energy needed to do the job well. So I took time to think about it, to reflect, to talk to my wife, Kirby, and I considered how it might impact my business. In the end, I accepted the position, obviously, but with a gut feel that it was the right thing to do, right for me and right for the association, and I've never looked back. Even when 1 year became 1.5 years, and even when 1.5 years became 2.5 years, I've actually enjoyed every minute of it. But there's a message there for all of you. Don't shy away from stepping up and giving to the association and this industry. It's easy to think you're not quite ready for the task. You know, I'm always reminded of that Henry Ford quote, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So say yes, and there's a good chance you'll be glad you did. Say yes to committee participation. Say yes to becoming a committee chair. Say yes to running for the board. Say yes to being named to exec. And by doing so, you'll grow your skills and be ready for all those opportunities that are bound to come your way. So be bold and step up and amaze yourself with what you can do and the skills you can develop, things you may not have thought you had in you. I stepped up and I'm glad I did. And speaking of stepping up, I assure you, you'll be in great hands with Carrie Eggleston at the helm this coming year. And I'd be remiss in not acknowledging the association staff and how they've helped me through these 2.5 years. Laura Nelson, Connie Palacios, April Allen, Sonia Burrows, they are the best in the business. And they're the reason it all comes together so well. And we had a good 2.5 years in a large part because of all those that stepped up to provide their volunteer leadership. So it's with great pleasure that I take advantage of this opportunity to recognize those who served in leadership this past year. Let's watch a short video to honor those who have given their time and talent to the association. Well, wasn't that fun? I loved the way that showed our leadership, and I love the way that recapped the year. That was just a fun video to watch. But I want to take time to thank our leaders individually and to call them out. And first, I want to do that with the committee chairs. Our committee chairs for this past year. For our ambassadors committee, Diana Davis, chair from Blue Sky Restoration Contractors. For our bowling committee, Veronica Wilson, chair, Champions of Norwood. Our casino bus committee, Tina Luck, chair, Gray Star. Our education committee, Robin Bodie, chair, Widener Apartment Homes. Our trade show committee, Carmen Hamilton, chair, Wildridge Apartments. Our holiday luncheon, Dee Dee Young, chair, Griffiths Blessing. Our golf committee, Keith Pierce, chair, ASR Companies. Our government affairs committee, Lionel Rivera, chair, Rivera Wealth Management. Oktoberfest committee, Becky Mellon, chair, Arlen Inc. Marketing committee, Matt Pacheco, chair, Pacheco Properties. Membership committee, Cicely McMillan, chair, Arbor Contract Carpet. Our Peak Awards committee, Connie Palacios, chair, formerly of Griffiths Blessing, currently with the Apartment Association. And our Pueblo chair, Michael Sanchez, Eagle Ridge Apartments. Silent Auction Committee, Christina Musell, chair, Artemis at Spring Canyon. And finally, Suppliers Council, Laura Cartagena, chair, Xfinity Communities. Under your guidance, the association's events and programs have been successful, and I want to personally thank all of you. So please now, all of us, let's give a warm round of virtual and real applause for the hard work that all these chairs have put into this past year. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate it, and it is the machinery that makes things happen. Without the committee chairs and their committee members, our events wouldn't take place. So we are greatly appreciative of their work. Next, I want to extend my sincere appreciation to those who served on the board of directors for the 2019-2020 year. Vic Sulzer, Cheddar Sulzer, PC. Vicki Schwint, Colorado Springs Utilities. Kevin Meese, Apartments Etc. Robin Bodie, Widener Apartment Homes. Connie Palacios, formerly Griffiths Blessing, now AASC. Christine Hatter, Echelon Property Group. Crystal White, HD Supply. Kathleen Welch, Allen LLC. I'm slowing down so we can get all these pictures on the screen. And Cicely McMillan, Arbor Contract Carpet. And finally, Ryan Somers, CSC Service Works. So thank you to each of you for your time and talent to ensure the success of the association. Under your leadership and guidance, we have thrived, and I appreciate each of you. So please, everyone, join me in giving them a round of applause for their hard work and dedication this year. Yay, 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 thank you. And now to the executive committee as we roll off the board and go to the executive committee. Lastly, and really most importantly, I want to acknowledge the members of the executive committee this past year. The executive committee is comprised of President-elect Carrie Eggleston, Griffiths Blessing, past president Sandy Thrash, Roundhouse Management, treasurer Matt Pacheco, Pacheco Properties, Secretary Tony Moyes, Mission Rock Residential, and Suppliers Council Laura Cartagena, Xfinity Communities. This is my right-hand group. This is the group that does so much in helping to steer everything we do and work with the board. So I'm very appreciative of your hard work and dedication. Each of you has assisted me in providing guidance to the direction of the association. So now, as we've done before, please join me in giving a warm round of applause for everything they did to make this a great year. And
Yeah, you guys
really
are
do
awesome.
appreciate it. It's too bad we can't hear the great applause that there would be if we were in the same room together. Well, at this point, it is my great pleasure to introduce We're so pleased
Sorry.
to have Mike here.
Oh, Dana, I accidentally kicked you off for a second, so if you could just restart, because we had a little problem. So just restart if you don't mind.
And you're ready now. Okay.
Hopefully, yep.
Well, it is my great pleasure once again to introduce Mike Holmes. And Mike Holmes is with Eastland Management in Greenville, South Carolina, and is currently the board chairman for the National Apartment Association. We are so pleased and honored to have Mike here to install our 2020-21 Board of Directors.
Well, thank you, Dana. I really appreciate the opportunity to come and spend some time with this association at this really high moment in your year when you're recognizing your old leadership and recognizing your new leadership. It's a real honor to be a part of that. I would much rather be there in person, but maybe we'll try to get that done a little bit later. And I do want to thank you for the gracious gift that the association sent me, a really nice basket of goodies and drinks. Probably last a few days, but probably not much more than that. But anyway, it's a real pleasure to be here, and I'm really honored. And I just want to tell you how well represented you are at the national level. Laura Nelson does such a great job with NAA and AEC, and we're just really, really proud of her, and really represents you guys well at the national level. Thank you, Laura. So they have given me, at their own risk, a few minutes to say a few words to you before we start doing some of the installation. And I will tell you a couple of things that you probably already know to make a point. You are a member of the voice of the multifamily industry by being a part of NAA, which comprises over 10 million apartment units, 150 affiliates, and 82,000 members. You have involvement at the local, state, and national levels, and you have impact in all three. Our industry is wealthy with industry knowledge and industry awareness. Through NAA, we have Units Magazine, websites, certification programs, and conferences. In addition, we also have industry sharing. I've just been overwhelmed with how our industry has circled the wagons to help each other through this COVID-19 pandemic, and just how we have worked together to work through this, and we're still not done yet, but we're making really good progress. And I think it's just been such a great team effort, and from what I've been able to see at the national level, just such great cooperation. But all of this, in part, is to help us all prepare for strong careers in our apartment industry, and hope that you see great value in your membership. And hopefully, when you talk to people that are not members, you can exhibit for them the great value that they can get by being an NAA member. But in spite of its great value, NAA recognized several years ago that we have a really serious problem that we decided to commit to and try to start resolving. And I have made this my top priority for this year. And it came to our attention just this way, quote, "When I walk in a room, when I look at a stage, when I see the marketing pictures of NAA, I don't see anybody that looks like me. Our membership and our leadership should reflect similar levels of diversity as our apartment communities do. And our company should reflect that, and our property should reflect that. And so we have taken on this whole issue of diversity and inclusion. And I just want to share you a little story, and then we'll move along to kind of illustrate where I hope this will go. And I'm going to tell you this story with a red face and a lot of embarrassment and humility that'll become clear as you hear me tell the story. But it also added to my resolve in trying to take a lead role in helping us in our program. So I'm going to take you back to the 1980s. My father and I both graduated from a small liberal arts school in Greenville called Furman University. Among other things, Furman participated in sporting events at the 1AA level, and in football, that was the championship series. And there was another school in our state that was not a part of our conference, but so we never played, but they also were in that same league, and that's South Carolina State University, which is a historically black university. And so the schools thought it was a good idea for us to play each other, and so we did. And it came our turn to go to their home field, which was in Orangeburg, South Carolina, which is the middle part of the state. And so we decided we were going to go to the game and support our team. And so we get down there. This is before GPS, so we're kind of feeling our way along, and we're sort of following the crowd a little bit. And finally, we get to a place where people start pulling off onto the curbs to park. And so we think, okay, we must be close. So we park and we don't really see anything, but we see people, and we see people wearing the colors of their team. So as we start to get out and I start looking around, I all of a sudden hear this sort of deep booming voice not too far behind me. And it sounded like this: "Are you lost?" And immediately I froze. And I think you probably know why. You know, stereotypes and generalizations, I'm thinking, okay, we've stumbled into somebody's territory, or somebody doesn't like the fact that all these white people are coming down here for this football game. And so I was turning around and at the same time saying, "I beg your pardon," fully expecting to see somebody kind of angry and kind of challenging. But instead I turned around and I see this guy, he's kind of middle-aged, and he's got on a very nice tweed jacket. He's got on a South Carolina State hat, and he's got on a sweatshirt underneath with all the colors. He looked at me again and he said, "Are you lost? Can I help you?" And so we said, "Well, you know, we're here for the game." And he kind of chuckled. He saw all my Furman stuff on, and so he knew that's what we were there for. And so he said, "I tell you what," he said, "you're on the wrong side of the stadium, but why don't you just come with me? I'll get you to where you belong, and then you can enjoy the game." So we did. We started following him along, but as we walked, we chatted a little bit, and could see all the other people out there doing their own tailgating. And so we finally got to where he was going to be tailgating, and he said, "Well, this is where I stop here." He said, "Why don't y'all just join us here? We've got plenty. We'll have a good time comparing football programs. Know you'll enjoy it. Love to have you." And I said, "Thank you," but, you know, we wanted to go be with the Furman people, so we said our thanks and we left. So we go and enjoy tailgate with our people, and then we go into the stadium, and the stadium is like 28,000 capacity. Furman is a small school, about 2,500, so we don't travel all that well. We might have had 200 people there. And you know how they do, they always put you in the worst seats when you're the visitor. So we're all kind of stuck away in this little corner. Then we get in and we start chatting up with each other and kind of getting ready for the game. And then the lights are on and it's starting to get dark and we hear whistle blowing. So we know it's about time. And that's when I looked up, and that's when I became afraid again. Because we had our little 200 of mostly white Furman football fans. There were 28,000 plus standing room only of all African Americans. I'm looking around the stadium and that's all I'm seeing. And I'm thinking, okay, what if I need to go to the restroom? Or what if I want something for the concession stand? And I started thinking about the long walk back to our car where we have to go through where all the State Bulldog fans were tailgating. And I was afraid. And then it struck me. I said, is this how it feels to be a minority? Imagine being fearful all the time, always being in the minority, being in a room where only a few people look like you. Imagine encouraging them to go to an NAA event and we're looking for minority leadership, and you go into a room and you're the only African American in the room. Are you going to raise your hand and say, hey, I want to be a leader? Well, some might, but I can tell you, I would not. I don't have that kind of courage. So now consider this, power of one. Go back to the man in the parking lot, because he becomes the role model for what I'm wanting to tell you tonight. He didn't just leave us alone. He saw somebody that didn't look like him, but he saw past whatever stereotype or whatever preconceived notion he might have about me, just saw a person, and he tried to help. Can I help you? He saw somebody that just didn't look like him, and he didn't let that stop him. And so he came over and offered to help. And when we accepted his help, he said, come on, let's go. Follow me. Let me show you the way. And he changed the way I felt. You know, we can have and do have, if you haven't been on the NAA website, you need to go on there. We have a whole separate page for diversity and inclusion. And there's a tremendous amount of information, webinars, scholarship opportunities, leadership programs. All of those things are going to really help us to be successful. But I will tell you this, the greatest impact will not come from all of those programs. The greatest impact to our diversity and inclusion program will come when 82,000 members see somebody that doesn't look like them, invites them in, and shows them the way. That we see past the stereotypes and past the preconceived notions, and we see people. And we just have people trying to get to know people and help shepherd them along. That's when we're going to be successful. And that has to happen, not just at NAA, because for it to happen at NAA, it has to happen in our associations. It has to happen on our properties. It has to happen in our corporate headquarters. So it's a mighty undertaking, but it's something that we have pledged to do and something that we need to do. And it's something that we cannot fail in. And I sincerely hope that just in this brief moment here, I'd love to share more with you about this, but I hope I can count on your help. That is my challenge to all of you. Now I have a couple of quick challenges for your leaders. I have 6 powerful words that have always been powerful to me. 2 of the most powerful words that I hear that are good leadership words to me are simply this: follow me. Good leaders don't just point the way, they show the way. You know, Jesus Christ, whatever you think about religion and all of that, Jesus Christ changed the world with those 2 words: follow me. Set the example and lead the way when you're a leader. The last 4 words of my 6 is this: nothing drifts toward excellence. I'll say it again. Nothing drifts toward excellence. Excellence requires effort. It requires work. It requires commitment. And it requires leadership. And it requires commitment from everybody. That is the key to a successful year. So, to the membership, this is your night to demonstrate your support for your leaders. It is their night to demonstrate their commitment to your association. And so with that, I would like to introduce to you the newly appointed committee chairs for 2021 and to have them installed. Grab a sip of water. Okay, so the Special Events Committee, Becky Meelan, Harlan Inc. Special Events Committee, Cammie Burgess, Pinecrest Apartments. Silent Auction Committee, Christina Musil, Artemis at Spring Canyon. Golf Committee, Keith Pierce, ASR Companies. Amazing Race Committee, Lorinda Bodman, Apartments.com. Holiday Luncheon, Dee Dee Young, Griffiths Blessing. Pueblo Council, Michael Sanchez, Eagle Ridge Apartments. Government Affairs, Lionel Rivera, Rivera Wealth Management. Trade Show Committee, Candace Kennedy, Griffiths Blessing. Installation Committee, Samantha Hauser, Artemis at Spring Canyon. Ambassador Committee, Maria Lorio, a Better Contractor. Marketing Committee, Bridget Allen from Widener. Membership Committee, Ricky Nelson, Xfinity Communities. Education Committee, Robin Bodie, Widener. Suppliers Council, Laura Cartagena, Xfinity Communities. Committees are the backbone of the Apartment Association of Southern Colorado. Whether you are a committee chairperson or a committee member, you are playing an important part in your association. How much you contribute during your term can give considerable bearing on the success of your association. Committees derive their power and authority through the board of directors as determined by the bylaws. The key to a successful committee, even with able committee members and solid objectives, is still the chairperson. To accept these duties and responsibilities, please unmute, raise your right hand and say, I will.
I will.
I will.
As installing officer, I hereby declare each of you duly installed as 2020-2021 committee chairpersons for the Apartment Association of Southern Colorado. Congratulations.
Woo!
Thank you. Okay, next,
Cheers.
we will recognize the Board of Directors for their installation. Give April just a minute to catch up with me.
Okay, I'm just gonna leave Becky because she's gonna be just right. So you are good to go, sorry.
Okay, and you'll have to forgive me if I butcher a couple of names here along the way, but I think I've got them. So first of all, we have for the Board of Directors, Vic Sulzer, Cheddar Sulzer, Vicki Schwent, Colorado Springs Utilities, Becky Meelan, Arlen Inc., Dee Dee Young, Griffiths Blessing, Michael Malone, Widener, Cammie Burchess, Griffiths Blessing, Stephen Havard, C&H Asphalt, Eric Jumper, Graystar, Cicely McMillan, Arbor Contract Carpet, Matt Pacheco. I think you and I were in Leadership Lyceum together, weren't we? Pacheco Properties. Chris Gordakowski, Alternative Resurfacing. I think that's all. Each of you have been elected or appointed to serve on the Board of Directors of the Apartment Association of Southern Colorado. Together with the association officers, you will make decisions that will direct and lead this organization in 2020 and 2021. You must make a determined effort to approach every issue fairly, with an open mind, and always in the best interest of the Apartment Association of Southern Colorado. You must be willing to accept the group conclusion, even when it involves some concession on your part. We know that your judgment and your dedication will guide you to success. If you accept this challenge, along with all the other duties and responsibilities associated with becoming a member of the Apartment Association of Southern Colorado Board of Directors, please unmute, raise your right hand, and say, "I will."
I will.
Congratulations to each one of you. You are duly installed. And then you can unmute. Doing great, April.
Okay, we're good to go. Sorry.
Okay, now we'll move on to officer installation. It is now my pleasure to announce the AASC's officers for 2020 and 2021. Dana Lowry, Grand West Properties. Tony Moyes, Mission Rock Residential. Kathleen Welch, Allen LLC. And Laura Cartagena, Xfinity Communities. In addition to the duties and responsibilities of any voting member of the Board of Directors, you have been elected by the Apartment Association of Southern Colorado membership to an office of great importance. Kathleen as Secretary, Tony as Treasurer, Laura as Suppliers Council Chair. The execution of your duties are critical to the welfare of this association. You are charged with the duty of monitoring association proceedings and finances, making a complete record of all of your actions. Dana, as past president, your advice and counsel to the officers will be of great benefit. The qualities which distinguish an officer are honor, leadership, and integrity. Kathleen, Tony, Laura, and Dana, please raise your right hands and unmute your microphones. If you accept these charges along with the duties and responsibilities incumbent upon you as Secretary, Treasurer, Supplier Council Chair, and immediate past President of the Apartment Association of Southern Colorado, please say, "I will."
I will.
I will.
Congratulations to each of you. You are duly installed.
Woo! Okay, we're good to go, Mike. Thanks for waiting.
Oh, sure. No, you're doing great. Now you're down to one. We'll now do the installation of your president. Carrie Eggleston. I don't see her anywhere. There she is. Okay. Carrie, you have attained the highest level of leadership within our association, and we know that you are fully committed to presenting the best interest of its members. You have earned the support and confidence of your peers, and you have the prestige and the recognition that go with this high office. Because you are trusted and your opinions valued, you are able to motivate others to take constructive action that will meet your organizational objectives. In partnership with your board of directors, officers, and the executive director, you will develop goals for your association during your term of office. You monitor progress toward these goals and evaluate our association's performance in relation to the needs of the members. When appropriate, you speak for your association and advocate its positions before its various publics. In the truest sense, you are your association's inspirational leader. In assuming the role of president, do you, Carrie Eggleston, fully accept the responsibility of performing the duties of this office, and do you accept the challenge of leadership and the burden of direction for the good of the association? If you do, so promise and pledge, please raise your right hand and respond with, "I do."
I do.
The response being in the affirmative by the authority vested in me, I hereby declare you duly installed as President of the Apartment Association of Southern Colorado for 2020 and 2021, and I offer you my sincerest congratulations in behalf of your entire membership. Congratulations, Carrie.
Thank you.
You can't see them. Get out of here. Hey, Carrie.
And I think it's your turn to speak now, Carrie.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Thank you for that, Mike. So I wanted to say that I moved to Colorado Springs from Denver to come work at Griffith's Blessing in 2017. It was a very scary time for me after being in Denver for 30 years. I didn't know very many people, and I had a lot to learn about Southern Colorado. I quickly became involved in the Apartment Association of Southern Colorado, and I have to say that joining has just been a great experience for me. Getting to know all of you and working with all of you and working to support this organization has just been inspiring and very fulfilling. I'm very honored to have been selected and to take on this very important role to offer my support and guidance as the new president of the 2021 board. It's been a rough first half of the year for many of us. We've all taken necessary steps to close our properties down to stop the spread of coronavirus. And now we're all going through the process of reopening them again. We're getting to see our residents and we're getting to see our amazing vendors again. As you're all aware, the effects of COVID-19 pandemic have brought great change in how we do business and how we live as a community. In some ways, it's brought us together to realize how much we all mean to each other and how much we miss seeing everyone. It's also brought hundreds of management companies together to share information and to strategize with how to deal with the daily crazy changes that are happening in our world. Bringing the industry together to work towards the benefit of helping everybody get through this time has been an inspiring experience. Working together with each other to figure things out and support each other makes me proud to be part of this industry. My all-time favorite quote is by Henry Ford, and it reads, "Coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is a success." These last few months have made this quote really hit home as we have all worked to keep our employees and residents safe at a time as we figured out how to continue to operate our properties and our businesses. I'd also at this time like to just mention that the Apartment Association of Southern Colorado did donate $5,000 from our PAC fund to the Resident Rent Foundation, which has raised over $100,000 to help residents in our state in rent relief during these times. This is another great example of how our industry has come together to help those in our community. I look forward to being able to come together with everybody, again, have our networking events, our events, luncheons, our education events, and most of all, our happy hours. Our next fiscal year will bring challenges as we try to come over the financial impact that COVID has had on our organization and all of our businesses, and to find our new normal. During the last board retreat, we had several areas of strategic opportunities that we identified. And I'm really excited to work with the new board and our past president, Dana Lowry, to work on these opportunities to continue to grow and show how positive the impact the Apartment Association of Southern Colorado has within our industry and our community. Thank you very much.
Woo!
Thank you so much, Carrie. We really appreciate your words of wisdom and so excited to have you.
Thank you.
Of course. And I also wanted to do a special thank you to Mike Holmes for taking the time today to induct all of our board members and also our committee chairs and taking the time to do that. We really appreciate that as well. And everybody else who attended and participated, even in the background, even though we couldn't see you. Thank you so much for attending. And also to our sponsors, because nothing would ever be possible. None of our events would be possible without our
Can I
sponsors.
throw the
So
popcorn?
thank you so much. I'm going to eat this later, so we cannot throw this. But thank you to everybody.
Before we go, I think Laura Nelson, our executive director, would like to say something real quickly. Sorry.
Oh, I just wanted to reach out to all of our new board members and all of our members that are tuning in tonight and just let you know how excited the staff is to work with you all next year. And it's going to be a great year. COVID has made us all stronger, and we're going to be better for it. So I look forward to working with all of you, and thank you for volunteering.
Yay!
Thank you so much for everyone for joining us, and we cannot wait to see you at the next in-person event. Yeah, wear your masks.
Yeah, be safe.
Night, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
April, cut.